Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. We're going to do a video on how to do some planting and set up a seed starting shelf. Today we're gonna plant some peppers and organize the shelf so you can see how I do it. Please keep in mind this is not the only way you can do it. This is just a system that works really well for us. We're February 18th today and I set up my plant stand here. I'm just gonna quickly run down what this is. So this is just a regular wire shelf. You can see they're very easily put together and taken apart at the end of the season. You can get these at any box stores. I think I got this one at Canadian Tire when it was on sale, but you can get them at Lowe's, Home Depot, Rona, pretty much any store out there that sells shelving units, they're gonna have this unit. What I like about this unit is I'm able to hook my lights up onto the wiring wherever they need to go. The next thing is, this is the lights that we have. We ordered these online on Amazon. I am not an affiliate of this company at all. I did a lot of research on different lights out there, and this one had all the key features that I wanted. They daisy chained together. So we started last year with 2 of them. I hope in the future to get another one. This light and this light go on these 2 bottom shelves, and I'll take you back in and I'll show you all of this when it's all set up. Today though, we have a pile of snow outside and I have to go dig out the rest of my seed starting supplies, which are in the garden shed. And I'll probably do a video of that just because I think it's going to be pretty funny. My seed starting supplies are all in there. And just to give you an idea of what I'm dealing with here, this is the snowbanks that we have. So let's go have some fun. Oh, the things we do for seeds. All right, let's have a look in the shed. Hope we have no surprises. The dog seems to think that there's going to be some surprises in here. Oh, look at this. All right. Seed starting trays. Soil's way down there somewhere. I'm gonna be a bit. Well, I've managed to dig most of the stuff out. And my garden shed is kind of put back to rights. Okay, so the first thing we need to talk about is the soil. This is what I use. Okay. This is great for seed starting. When you up pot them, you'll need to up pot with something other than this. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, while I'm outside, I don't need to take both of these into the house. I'm gonna transfer a bunch of the soil from here into this Tupperware bin, and then I will be able to take this sealed Tupperware bin into the house. All right, so I'm just gonna turn the camera off and go ahead and do that. Sylvester thinks he's looking for mice in here, which he's a good boy. All right, so there's a little bit in there. I don't need any more than that because I'm only starting a few things right now. I'm gonna make sure when I put the rest of this stuff back in my shed that this is more readily accessible. That's it, the final haul to head to the house. Not too bad. We brought in the tub full and we are ready to move on to the next step here. So the next step in this is we're actually going to add boiling water. One, it is going to thaw this. 2, it is going to dampen it. And number 3, it's going to kill off any bugs that might be in here. Little fungal gnats and stuff like that that can actually destroy your plants. So it's very important not to skip this step. I know lots of people say, oh, I bought it fresh from the store. I don't need to take this step. Those bugs can still live. So boiling water in. We're gonna give this a quick stir. You can see like it's very much still dry. After we get all the boiling water in here, we're gonna put the lid on and we're gonna let this all steam. Smells like dirt. All right, I'm just gonna put the lid on this now, and we're gonna let this steam for a few hours, actually. I actually have left the soil in the tub overnight. It's the next day now. I had a lot of stuff going on and I didn't have time to deal with it. It's a little more wet than I would normally do because I was just throwing the hot water in, but it's all right. It's better wet than dry. Okay, so the next step, we're gonna go ahead. We have a good heavy duty tray. You have to look extra hard for these. These are not gonna be found at Walmart or Canadian Tire or your local hardware store. These are really, really thick, not the thin and flimsy ones. And then I have my cells, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put soil in all of the cells. Now you'll notice that I've made sure over here, I actually have an empty space. And the reason for this empty space is so that I can bottom water. The plants, their root system will do better if you bottom water versus watering over the top. So I always put my water into here. They soak up what they need from the bottom. The root system develops better, and you don't run the risk of when watering on top that the seeds move around or they float or any of the rest of it. So bottom water, so I always leave a little extra space. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill up all of these pods now. You gotta make sure, if you're doing it in these cells, that you you pack down in the cells. If you just like kind of set it in, you could end up with a really big air pocket way down in the bottom, which means when you go to put your seeds in, you're gonna really, really sink. So to make sure you pack it down. The nice thing also about having the tray underneath is that, yeah, I put a extra water in this soil, but it's okay because right now it is all running out down to the bottom portion. All right, so that's the last little bit, and now I can go ahead and put my seeds in. So I'm just gonna start peppers today. I have time still, lots of time for all the other stuff. Last year was so close to having a good thing of peppers, and then we got cold weather. So as you can see, kids' shovel, what a great little tool to have. So this is my seed box. It's actually on Michael's. It's called a photo storage box. This is just one of them. It's a big box of boxes, and I'll show you after. But okay, so we order from a number of different places. I can just show you a few. The Incredible Seed Company, Canadian company, West Coast Seeds, Heritage Harvest Seeds, and then some of my own saved seeds. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead. We're gonna plant some of each of these, and then we are going to label each cell. I just bought these on Amazon, and I can just write on them. Sharpie marker will not last forever, so be sure you're keeping a watch, and as they start to fade, rewrite, or alternatively find something that's not a Sharpie. Right now that's just all that I have, so I'm gonna go ahead and plant and label. So we have some nice chocolate beauty. So we're just gonna pick one cell, and we're using very high-tech tools here, as you can see. Now the thing with seeds is you really don't want to bury them deep. If you go too deep, they're never gonna be able to push up to the surface high enough. So you can see, like, I've barely put those in. I have barely covered them. You don't want to do any more than that, or they won't be able to find the sun. So this was Chocolate Beauty. All right, and I'm gonna put this in this cell. So I know this whole cell here is gonna be Chocolate Beauty. I'm gonna go ahead and plant the rest. They're all labeled. There's just one spot left there for some hot peppers. I don't like hot peppers, so I don't handle the seeds. That'll be ready to go for when Thomas has a moment, and we will get his planted. So the next thing we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to put our dome on this. And I probably am gonna have to push those down a bit more. And we'll take this in and put it on the heat mat. So I have most of my grow shelves ready to go. My lights are all hooked up now. So this is a heat mat. What this does is it's gonna increase the temperature in the soil, and it'll help things that are hard to germinate, like tomatoes and peppers. So I always will put these guys up on this heat mat. I have a temperature probe and a timer, and the temperature probe is gonna go into the soil, and it will maintain the soil at a certain temperature, and it'll go on and off as needed. Do you need something this high tech? No, you do not. You can plug your heat mat in and maybe unplug it, 3 or 4 hours during the day when, it's warmer. Plug it in at night. You'll get a feel for it. You don't need all the snazzy stuff. It does help though. Funny enough, I was going through a bunch of boxes that we had from a number of our moves. I actually found this light. I had this light when I was in college, and I just had it as an extra reading light in my bedroom. And I use it once the seeds are quite a bit bigger and they've graduated up from my grow light. So you don't need anything fancy. You don't need big lights. You don't need major things. Shop lights from most of the retail stores work really, really well. A sunny window will do it. Just keep in mind they will get leggy. So this is what my setup will look like for now. Once all of this stuff starts to grow, I will actually cover the whole outside of this in tin foil to keep the light in and keep the light reflected in the area I want it. Right now, these guys aren't actually gonna get any light. They're just gonna go up on that heat mat. Okay, so right now my soil is 19.3. I have it set to 30. Optimum is 29.5 to 30 degrees Celsius. By the way, I'm working in Celsius here. My probe has a little rubber gasket that attaches it to the top of the dome, and then into the soil it went. So now this guy's just gonna hang out on the shelf until I start to see sprouts, and at which point we will move on to the next step. This is the seed box I was talking about, large photo and craft keeper. They actually have this as well, with these guys inside being clear boxes. They're both the same price. It doesn't really matter which one you get. I kind of like the colored ones better because I know what's kind of in each one. And beans in these ones. There we go. And I think maybe this one's this one's lettuces. This was the peppers that I just did. This one's got flowers. So each of them have different stuff. This one has carrots because it's orange, even though I have black nebula carrots in there. But yeah, so I love this little guy. They're not very expensive. And you just put the little lid and off you go. All your seeds in one handy dandy little place. We planted our seeds on February 20th and today we're February 28th. So yeah, let me turn the camera around for you. My neighbor contacted me this morning and asked me, "Are your babies up? Are your babies up?" And I said, no, it's just dirt. And then I went to look and I have babies up. So I've got a couple King of the North peppers up and a California Wonder. And if that means they're up, hopefully the rest of them won't be too far behind. So there you have it, a nice little seed starting tray and how to go about doing it yourself. Just to go over the basic setup with everything on it now. This was the little light I was talking about. The plants will move up to here after they've graduated out from underneath the grow light. Here is one of our grow lights. There are 2 light switches on here. One does the 2 outside light bulbs, one does the 2 inside light bulbs. Right now, I don't know if you can see, I just have 2 of the lights on. Here, and then if I switch that other, you can see all 4 lights are on. So right now I just have 2 of the lights on because the peppers, more of them are up. We are just, I think, 3 days after they've popped up. So there's many more coming up. So now this light is on about 16 hours of the day. They still are on the heat mat just until the last of the sprouts are up, and then I will be taking the heat mat away. And then the last shelf underneath here, if I had more plants, they would be underneath. So these lights are all daisy chained together. Even this little guy up here is daisy chained. And then the lights are on a timer that's plugged into the wall, and they're on for about 16 hours every day. One other thing I want to point out about the lights is that if you'll notice, they are on sort of like a chain system. And I have this like this so that I can raise and lower this light as needed for the plants. As the plants grow, I can easily raise the light by just going up a loop each time. And both of these lights here, I've made it that way. And then of course, by the time the plants make it to the top shelf, they're pretty tall, and that light is just enough to keep it in there. So that is what the setup looks like. Usually, of course, there's more plants on it, but this is just the beginning of the season. And I wanted to get this out so that you guys could see what the whole setup looks like, so you can get yours set up and get your plants growing. If you have found this video informative or have enjoyed it in any way, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, where we will give you many more tips for all sorts of homesteading things. We'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out with us.